party people. Welcome to Fire to Inspire, the podcast. I am your host, Angel Yasmin. I'm so excited about our special guest today. Let's welcome Karyn Greer. But before we get started with everything, I wanted to share a quick story. I remember meeting Karyn at a charity event not too long ago. I went up to her and I spoke, and I really enjoyed her energy. She was such a ball of fire, by the way. Then I got the courage all of a sudden to ask her to be my first guest on the show, which was only at brain stages. Nothing was even in the works. She had no freaking clue that Fire to Inspire didn't even exist at the point. So I was just led to take a chance. I was like, you know what? What do I have to lose? So she agreed to do it. She even asked me to take down her number that day. And ever since then, I had fire behind me to make this podcast happen so I can interview with her. Well, here we are, and I'm so grateful that she gave me a tiny spark that started a fire. Today's quote is, when you visualize, you materialize. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, lady. What's going on?
Angel, thank you so much for asking me. So proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Fabulous. A long way from when we met months ago.
Yes. We're going to go ahead and dive right on in. Karyn Greer is an Emmy award-winning anchor and reporter at CBS 46 News in Atlanta, Georgia, who is currently a member of the Magnolia chapter of the Lynx, a board member of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, a member of the Greater North Atlanta chapter of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated, and on the board of the Sport of Giving, and a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and just to name a few. Woo. Throughout her career, she has been the recipient of numerous awards honoring both her professional work and community contributions. She was named one of Atlanta's 100 Women of Influence by the Atlanta Business League, and she has been featured in several films. I just adore this classy lady. OMG.
So sweet.
So, do you know that you were the main reason why I majored in mass communications in the first place?
No, you didn't tell me that.
Yes. Like, as a little girl, I would watch her on TV, and I admired your sass and your class so much.
Well, thank you so
you just
much.
kept it together.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Mississippi.
Wow.
Well, actually, I was born in Mississippi. I grew up here in Conyers, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
All the way up to high school, and I went back to Mississippi for college at Jackson State.
You definitely are on target with what you should be doing right now.
Yes.
Inspiring and just really getting the word out about people that you like.
Yes, absolutely. I just love what I do. I love to meet people, and I'm interested in hearing their stories because, I mean, you're so successful. You're so good at what you do.
Well, and their journeys to get here.
Absolutely.
You know, it's nothing is easy, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in corporate America, and now you're doing your own thing. So you know, it's a constant battle.
So tell us a little bit about your background and where you're from.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm an only child. Okay. So my mom and my dad pretty much always told me you can be or do whatever you want. Don't ever feel like you're in a box and, you know, you have to do this or you have to do that. And I remember always liking to play like I was on television. You know, my dad would help me, and he'd get a camera and act like we were doing a newscast. I'd have a big box, and I'd have a TV screen, and so he helped to motivate me for my dreams. You know, whatever your dreams are, and I say that to say whatever your children's dreams are, help them. You know, to reach those dreams and those goals. Don't tell them they can never do it. They want to be an actor or, you know, an athlete or the president of the United States. Help gear them towards that. Don't shoot them down, because shooting a kid's dream down really early on can just devastate them for the rest of their lives.
You're absolutely right. And I do believe in that. So you have to pour into your children, and look what they produced.
That's absolutely right. Well, my mom and dad are very proud. My dad has since passed.
I bet they are.
But my mom comes here a lot and stays. But I know I always had that drive and determination from them. Absolutely. And I try and do that with my children. And it is hard, you know, because they wanted to quit doing football or quit doing, you know, sports. And I was like, no, we don't quit. We're going to keep going.
Yes.
And it paid off in the end, but it's tough for a mom to say no.
Absolutely.
So I say that to say don't say no either.
I know.
Don't let them just quit those things that they get involved with. Make them finish up.
Absolutely, because, I mean, look what they can blossom into, doing something they absolutely love, so you don't want to stunt that growth. So who gave you the first opportunity to be an anchor?
Well, my journey was interesting. I graduated from the University of Illinois in Champaign. Worked, didn't have a job as soon as I graduated from college. So I went back home to Chicago, and my mom was an assistant principal at a school there, and my dad was a banker, and I was resting, enjoying my time off, sleeping in, and my mother knocked on my door one day, and she said, you will not be sleeping in around here.
Oh, come on, Mama.
You need to get a job. Yes. I don't care what it is. It may not be in TV what you want, She goes, you can be a substitute teacher. Go take the test and you can sub. And that's what I did. Literally, the next week I started subbing, and I had 8th grade kids who had learning disabilities and wanted to dance in my class. It was tough. People don't give teachers enough credit. It was tough.
I agree.
So I did that for maybe a month, and a news director called me back from Champaign and said, we've got a reporter job. Do you want to move back? And I said, absolutely.
Wow.
So I had interned at that station when I was in college, so he knew what my work ethic was. And I say that to say internships are important.
Absolutely.
It's the only way you can really get in the door.
Wow.
So I went back, worked with that station, and I was a reporter, and I worked the weekends. And on one particular weekend, the anchor who was working the station was getting married. And she asked me if I could just help stack her show, which means put all the stories in, and she'd come in after her wedding that same day and do the show. Mm-hmm. I said, sure, yeah, I could stack it for you. I did, and she never made it back.
Oh, wow. Look how that door opened wide open.
That's how God does it, yes. So I ended up anchoring for her, which was a nightmare because I had never done it. And I was hyperventilating, and I was flying through the scripts, and my news director was hot and livid. The GM was mad, but it worked out in the end.
Wow. That's amazing.
Always be ready.
Always be ready. And honestly, you can't always be ready.
Right.
You just need to show up.
Show up.
You need to show up and show out.
That's
Anything you do, I don't care, like you said, internship, just pull it from your toes and do your very, very best, because you never know who's watching you. You never know who they need later on.
That's right.
So, look, I can only imagine you breaking out in your career, some of the challenges you faced in the industry. Explain some of that, the history of that.
Let's see. Well, I worked there. Then I moved to Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
Where I was about 2.5 years. And I will never forget, I was doing weekends there. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to move to weeknights. You know, I thought, I can do this. And I talked to the general manager, and he said, not in Charleston. Charleston's not ready for a black woman to anchor a main newscast. And he said, but I will help you do whatever you want to do because I believe in you. So I started applying to jobs, and he told me about something at the CBS station in Atlanta, because I was at the CBS station in Charleston. And I applied, and long story short, I got the job.
Wow.
So I started working here back in 1989.
That is an amazing story. I mean, I'm just so happy to hear that. Yeah. You never gave up.
No.
And that's the key. Don't give up. So thinking back, who was your first big interview? Like that aha moment that you felt like, okay, I've made it now. Here I am. I'm here.
You know, it's funny. In Charleston, there was an issue. You know, the Citadel is there. The big men's military school was men's military school when I was there. Now it's co-ed. Mm-hmm. But there was a problem. A young black cadet said he'd been hazed. And he wanted everyone to know about it. And they called the NAACP, Operation Push, everybody, and Jesse Jackson came down. And I grew up in Chicago, so I used to listen to Reverend Jackson all the time. Absolutely. He came down and to kind of get justice for this young kid. Mm-hmm. And he was really one of my first big interviews when I was in Charleston.
Wow.
So it's pretty neat.
That's a big guy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Big guy. So what organizations do you hold close to your heart? And just kind of tell us about your roles and how you're involved in those organizations.
Of course, my sorority, near and dear to my heart, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I'm on the board right now with the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, which is the people that gives out those cute little Emmys. So I get to help make rules, regulations for them and just kind of make them more inclusive. I enjoy that. And organizations, the Magnolia Links.
Yes.
Big for our community service. I enjoyed that each and every day. And Jack and Jill was great for my kids because I really wanted them to feel like they could do whatever they wanted to do and see other kids who looked like them, because we live in an area where everybody doesn't look like us. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really important. So they've graduated out of that, and that was pretty cool.
What can we expect from Karyn Greer next? What's going on in your life?
That's a good one. Good one. You can't be happy for mediocrity. You can't stay where you are and just think everything's fine. You really need to expand and branch out. So I would like to, just before you came, I was doing a show on the film industry in Atlanta. And I had Roger Bob on.
Oh, nice.
And an actor that's been in The Walking Dead, and, you know, another producer and another actor. So just to talk about how they got where they are right now and what good tips they have for other people. I would love to expand doing something like that onto a broader level. Kind of like you.
Yes, come on. Let me
Kinda
be
like
your
you.
inspiration. You need to start your own podcast.
You know how on Facebook Live that
Yes.
Jada Pinkett Smith does her
Red Table
Talk,
Talk, and it's so hot.
I would love something like that. You don't need a network. Who needs a network?
Come on, just
Do your own thing, have fun with it.
I know.
So I would love that, but I know for now it's hard to line people up unless you have a name like Jada Pinkett Smith for those interviews. So that's something,
What?
I'm working in the back of my mind. I'm going to make that happen.
I met you, and I'm a little
See,
nobody.
I'm a little
You just
nobody
gotta-
too.
No, you're
a little
not.
nobody, and she's a big somebody. So that's really
Well, I need to encourage you right now. You are something special.
That's sweet.
And people know who you are. They love you. You're so beautiful.
Oh.
You can do it, Karyn.
Well,
I
we
believe
need
in
to
you.
do
And I'll
it.
help you do it.
Let's do it.
How about that?
Let's do it.
So, what are some encouraging words that you can give someone to ignite the fire within?
Never think that you are not good enough. Growing up on the south side of Chicago and, an only child, there's a lot of times I could have thought that.
Mm-hmm.
And, but my parents never wanted me to believe that.
Oh, wow.
So I always knew I was destined for great things. You need to believe that. You need to reach high and really dream high. Go on and dream for something big. I always said I'd get a notebook and I'd write my dream, my goal on the last page of that notebook. And every now and then I'd flip back and forth and I'd check and see how I'm getting towards that goal. Mm-hmm. Have those goals, write them down. And that you're going to make me today go write this one down again.
You have to. You got to start off with the little micro goals and go work towards your macro goals. So if you do one thing at a time, that's successful.
That's right.
And I can't wait to see how it goes.
Oh, I'm ready.
going to make sure I stay on top of you.
2019.
You are the one, okay?
We're going to make it happen.
Okay. So thank you, Karyn, for joining us. I really had a good time with you
quick.
today. Yes. So please let the audience know that how can they find you on social media.
Oh, I love that.
Good stuff.
On social media, I am just KaryNGreer. Karyn Greer.
Yes.
Is all my social media.
Good.
Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter. Yeah, join me and tell me what you want. Give me some great ideas of some things you want us to cover here at CBS 46. And let me know what you think of what we're doing.
Thank you for joining our Party with a Purpose. I'll catch you next week. All right, it's getting real hot up in here because I'm so fired up.
We light up the